Hello, this is Deborah Nakamura, and you're watching Heart of Japan. Today it's a rainy day, and I'm doing one of my least favorite things. That's renewing my driver's license. It wouldn't be so least favorite, but we have to wait in long lines, and we have to do all these things at each checkpoint. So I thought I would record it for you so you can feel sorry for me. This is the Higashi Mikawa Unten Menkyo Senta Chushajo. When people come to get their driver's license, they have to follow this course. Most people do not get their driver's license from the first test. It takes several tries. So I'm lining up in the long line and we're getting ready to go into the building. Well, I got my new license and I'm glad to be out of there. It took, let's see, by the time we got in the building, it was about 9, and walking through all the line, it reminded me of being at Disneyland in Tokyo. Little by little, you inch toward the gate. Finally, I got up to the first checkpoint, the window. After going through the door, you get your temperature taken and you spray your hands with the disinfectant, and then you inch through the line little by little and got to the first checkpoint. But in the middle of this whole thing, my husband decided he needs to use the restroom. So as I'm inching toward the gate, toward the first checkpoint, I'm a little bit concerned. What if I can't read this? What if I can't understand which way to go? Of course, there were many helpful people scurrying around to show you the way, but there were very few foreigners there in line, so I was very thankful to see my husband arrive again from his mission, and he helped me through all the checkpoints. Now, I have not had any accidents in the last few years, actually in a long time, and I had no marks against my driver's license, so apparently I got into the upper rank there, and I bypassed the long study. I did have to go from the first floor to the second floor and then to the fourth floor of this building, but I couldn't really film it. There were too many policemen, and I think they would have said stop. So I didn't film the inside of the building, but I went all the way to the fourth floor and discovered I had to take a 30-minute classroom video situation. And they, of course, put us in this big classroom with social distancing, but knowing that our area in Aichi Prefecture is right now in a lockdown situation, it didn't make me feel very easy about being in such a public room. And we were constantly putting the disinfectant on our hands, but I got it done. And we saw a short video for about 30 minutes and heard some explanation on the new driver license process. And I watched the video. It was really interesting. The main reasons for accidents these days. For example, those people that are not watching out when pedestrians are crossing across the crosswalk. There's been an increase in accidents because of maybe drinking and driving. They said if you have 2 beers, it takes about 7 hours for it to get out of your system. And within that 7-hour period, your senses are impaired, so don't drive. I thought of America and I thought, wow, it's much stricter here, and so are the penalties. You wouldn't want to drink and drive here. No. And there are other accidents that are pretty common. For example, those where people are in a hurry. It's crowded streets here. That's something that you have to watch for, and narrow streets. So when you're making turns, there's no right on red in Japan. You can't turn right when the traffic light is red. When it's red, you stay put. But when you do turn, If your vision is impaired by a large truck or a bus, they showed accidents that happen where a motorbike or a bicycle or a pedestrian was crossing, but the driver who was turning didn't see them because their vision was blocked by a bus. So I do appreciate Japan's diligence in training up drivers to be good drivers and not careless drivers. I can only imagine what it would be like if these drivers, there's so many of them, were very careless. If the population of careless drivers increased in Japan, there would be no hope for all of us. But I'm happy to get my driver's license done, and I'm happy to share the experience with you. I wish you good travels. Let's face it, it's difficult to travel by public transportation these days, so if you didn't have your car, where would we all be? Thankful for that. One thing that came to mind after I got my driver's license back, my new driver's license, was the picture. I think we all struggle with that, don't we? And my vanity came to the surface. I thought, man, I've got to get a new hairdo. This is not going to do. But somehow I'm not motivated to do that in a pandemic. So we're stuck with what we've got. I have to mention that without my husband being with me, he's been so faithful to go with me to all these city offices where I have to renew something like my foreigner's registration card or the health card, whatever we have to have. He's been faithful to help me. He sometimes treats me like a little baby though, and he wants to hurry through all the filling out of the documents, and he'll do it really quick. I sometimes feel really humbled by that, but on the other hand, I'm happy that he's leading the way because he gets things done where I would probably still be at the driver's license office if he hadn't been with me. And people look at him and they open doors for me. But if it was just me, I believe that very likely they would be so afraid of dealing with a foreigner and thinking that they can't speak English perfectly enough to communicate with me, that the process would really slow down. So I'm very thankful that he has been very good to be with me all these years. It's gotta be tough married to a foreign lady that's pretty outspoken. Don't you think? Yeah?